So, welcome everybody to the Jinbu Podcast. Today, I got the honor and the privilege to receive DrOfStuff, which is a content creator from the VV family. So, it's gonna be an amazing hour with him. As you're gonna see, we're gonna talk about progress, perspective. We're gonna go into speculation land with many subjects like Disney, VV, Metaverse, Epic Game, and so on and so on. So, I think it's gonna be incredible for you. And if you liked it, wish. 3, 2, 1. Hey, doctor, how do you feel, buddy?
I'm good, Jess. Happy to be on your show, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. That's an honor for me. To be honest, I feel pretty amazed that a lot of people agree already to come. There's many more to come, but you're the second. I think that's to me it's gonna be right in my memories, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna go to Comic Con. Not Comic Con, but San Diego Designer Con.
So I'm actually working on potentially being able to go to San Diego Comic Con.
Oh,
I don't know if Vivi is going to Designer Con.
is it the
Or,
designer? Maybe I'm wrong.
so the
Is it
Designer Con,
in November?
Designer
What
Con
is
is
it gonna be?
Vegas this year, right? I think it is. Um, I think so. And I might be able to go to that, but I'm like 90% sure I'm going to San Diego Comic Con, and then like another 90% sure that I'm going to New York Comic Con, and that 10% is me bringing it up with my wife. I've got to keep the
I
path, and I
understand.
have not gotten that yet.
I totally understand. I talked about that to my wife yesterday. I was like, "Yeah, November this year." She was like, "Yeah, that's so long ago. Why are you talking to me about that?" I was like, "Yeah, but I want to go there for the weekend. I would like to take a week, maybe a little bit more. There's Disneyland at Anaheim." I was like, maybe it could be interesting to go with you and the stepdaughter. She was like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna think about it." But see, that's uh, that's a big money to put out for us,
It is.
So
Yeah, yeah. For anyone.
we're gonna have to make planification a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing with me. I mean, for work, like I travel a lot, and so I have hotel points and air miles and stuff like that. So I can
Oh,
subsidize some of that travel, right? It's not as costly, but the people who just pay, just straight cash, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to fork out for anyone. So, but I think that also makes it very special to see the people who are so dedicated, right, to come to these in real life VV events, and it's in combination with something like a designer con or a comic con, right, where they get to experience all of that, but then just seeing so many of the VV fam there, and people who truly are spending quite a bit of money to be there. It's just like nothing else I've ever experienced before. It's awesome.
to be honest, it was my first time in Auxerre in January. It I went alone with nobody else, but that was my first trip out of Quebec, Canada. So I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be a little challenge, and it happens to me that I got a lot of issue with the trains and the bus, and
Uh,
almost missed my flight from France to Quebec 2 times, like that stupid thing. But still, it went so well. I was like, oh, I regret that I didn't went to the those before in America. I was like, they're nearer than friends to me, and yeah, it was a big regret because it was an amazing moment. That's where I encounter Sanjay, Vivi Magic,
mhm.
Vivi Captain, Vivi Meister, so many people from Germany, US. It was an incredible moment for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the next. I'm gonna try to put it in my budget.
Yeah, and this is what I've heard, Jess. Like anyone who's gone to one of those events, they just walk away and it is kind of just this very special moment for people, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like, hey, I've interacted with a lot of these people online. I've seen them post, or I've seen, people are going to start coming up to you, Jess, and being like, oh, I watched your video, and
Mm-hmm.
you just have this like instant connection, right? Because there's this shared love of collecting, and even if it's different types of collecting that you like, whether it's in real life stuff, but like all of the different IPs, it really brings people together, and just it's euphoric. And I talked
Yeah.
to some people right that came back from Auxerre, and they were just like, I'd never been to one of these events before, and I want to go to all of them now. Like, it was one of the best times I've ever had.
Uh, to me, that was a big event too because even if I'm a content creator, I don't judge myself as better than anybody in the VV community. In fact, I think a lot of people are a lot better in many domains than I am in the VV fan. But when I went to Auxerre, um, the whole weekend felt like I was a superstar, that people love me so much from so long ago, and I didn't know they did, So when they came to me, I was talking most of the time with other people, and people were calling me from the back far away, like, "Hey, the frog!" Yeah, I was like, "Oh my god, what the?" What the yeah, but it feels so amazing, and I was like, I gotta give it back because I didn't deserve it. I was like, I'm just doing video, so
Yeah.
but still I want to give it back, I want to share it back. And if everybody didn't went to any of those events, my suggestion is to go right away. Planify it, put it in your budget, in your schedule. I'm sorry, I'm French guy, eh? you
You're
know
good. You're good. Yeah.
so yeah, that's yeah, I got the chills just to think about it.
Hmm.
Did you went to a lot? One, two?
No, I've only gone to one. I went to that designer con. Man, was it 2 years ago now? Maybe it was 2 years ago. Geez, yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Designer Con down there, and it was just because, yeah, I was thinking I wasn't going to go to San Diego Comic Con last year because I thought they were doing Designer Con again, and I was like, oh, that's closer to me, so I'll just go there. And then by the time I heard that they weren't going to Designer Con, I'd already booked a trip with the
Oh.
family. Out to go, do some hiking and camping out in Tennessee, the Great Smoky Mountains, and so I missed out. So, but yeah, just one time Designer Con, and I've been itching to go back. And on top of that, I have bought a gold and silver logo, VV logo, and so I'm really excited to get some of that in real life utility for that, which I've never experienced, and just to see how that is.
Yeah, I really want to go in the next event, but if they're going to a Comic Con, I got to admit that I think I'm gonna prefer to go to a Comic Con than a
Hmm.
Designer Con.
Hmm.
Um, Not that I don't like the Designer Con, but the video that I saw and the photo that I saw was like, oh, that's a little bit less of my kind of show. I'm a Comic Con. We got Comic Con in Canada, and yeah, maybe I will even plan to go with a costume. Just for the fun of it.
Heck yeah,
So
yeah.
so I prefer Comic Con. I think I'm a guy. I'm a guy from the pop culture from the '80s and the '90s and the 2000s. So yeah, and I like anime too, like Naruto, those things. So yeah, it would be an
Mhm.
amazing event, I think.
Yeah, and I agree with you. So I've never been to a Comic Con, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go to San Diego Comic Con, but the New York Comic Con, Sanjay keeps talking about there's gonna be some sort of like VV Oscars or something, and I'm like, man, that would be really fun to just go to, and see
Yeah.
that whole event too. And I believe that that's gonna be New York Comic Con. So again, just trying to
Oh,
get the buy-in from the wife. Yeah.
it might be easier to me to go than New York Comic Con. But we didn't get any date yet about where they might be going this year. And from what I've heard, that's only rumor. They're
Hmm.
not gonna go to more events for car Q1, Q2. of 2024. It's gonna be for later. I'm not sure if it's true, but
Yeah, so I think San Diego Comic Con's the end of July, which would be Q3. So they could still. I believe that if they're trying to get the most bang for their buck, there's just so many people that show up to those Comic Cons, and San Diego Comic Con is the biggest Comic Con, and so I would imagine they would be there. But then they also had so much success in New York. So, but you're right. Look, that's all speculation. I haven't heard for sure that they're going to any of them, but regardless, I am
yeah,
planning on going to San Diego Comic Con.
on
I
October.
just want to experience a Comic Con. I've never done that before. So
Yeah, it's gonna be on October 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th.
that's
New
the
York
New
Comic
York
Con.
one, right?
Yep, New York Comic
Yeah.
Con.
Yeah.
That's what you said, right? That's where you want to go.
I want to go to both San Diego, which is in
Oh,
July, and then New York in October.
it might be easier for me to go to New York, to be honest, but still, I'm gonna have to evaluate all this. We still didn't got any dates, but I still think it's pretty interesting. Uh, we're gonna have some big news supposedly in March the 14th
Hmm.
on the future of the comic book of the X-Men comic book series from Marvel. So, can you what is your speculation on that? You got one?
Yeah, I
Not financial
think.
advice for everybody
Yeah,
that is listening. We're not
not
giving
financial
any
advice.
financial advice. Just speculation for the fun of it.
Yeah, I think that Marvel is announcing a digital comic book series. Like the only way you'll be able to get it is digitally, or it's either a completely digital series, or the only way to get the physical is by buying the digital first, and that's how the whole series will be. So you can only
Yeah.
get the physical by buying the digital
Mhm.
first, and that's again like the entire series is going to be like that. So and I think I mean that would be completely brand new, and they might even say like because they have their own like Marvel kind of like comic like digital comic book collecting that, but you don't own it. Like, well, you own it, but it's not like an NFT or anything. You can
Yeah.
just purchase it and read it. I can't remember what that's called that they have, um, but it might be that they also like you can't even get it there, right? You can only get it through VV, so it'd be completely specialized to VV and really
Yeah.
pointing at that strength of the relationship between Marvel and VV and where Marvel believes things are going. So that's my speculation. But what about you?
To be honest, we yesterday I've recorded another podcast with another person from the French VV fam, and his
Mm,
speculation was I'm gonna say a little bit crazier, but maybe. But I was thinking it was making more sense at the time. But now that you put me your speculation, I'm like, oh my god, I think you're more right than he was. But it was
yeah,
speculating that um, they're gonna make a series digital, maybe with some digital, maybe. But he wasn't speculating that we're gonna need to buy the digital to have the physical. But he was saying maybe we're gonna buy the physical, we're gonna be able, or we're gonna have the digital. But the digital, he was thinking it was gonna be animated to a certain extent because they did that in the past, and now on other NFT platform, I think like Candy and other project, they got like the cover animated. They got thing like that. So I was thinking it was making sense, but and maybe we could put the two idea together, but still I think you might be more right because it would make more sense in a business standpoint, from a business standpoint, because you're gonna bring more customer from to buy other products if they're forced to a certain extent to
yeah.
buy the digital comic to have the physical. That's an incredible idea because oh my god, yeah, I think that's the idea. You might be right on that.
I would love for VV and Marvel, and even DC Comics really to start doing more animated either covers or like even. I mean, think about this, Jess. Like, how crazy would it be? And I think that the comics would have to be they'd have to charge more for them for sure. But like,
Mhm.
if you could click on the cells, and then whatever was happening in the cell was animated, like
Yeah,
each frame, that would be a completely new way to tell a story, right? On in a
yeah.
comic book, and that might be years down the road. I don't know, but the animation, like that gets me excited too. Like I would love it if that was correct too.
I think it's not so far away because I think they did it in the past, but that wasn't in any NFT form. You could read some comic book with some page with some cells animated or
Yeah,
a total or a full page, and it was not like a full movement. It was like just only a move like that,
yeah,
and the
okay,
face of the other character maybe moving like oh, but
yeah,
that was it, if I remember well. That wasn't big, but still,
yeah,
just put that on them. I think it's gonna add so much value to them. It's gonna give them some potential, I think so. Yeah, it would be incredible. And that's a little bit of the line of the podcast. I like everything that's going toward progress. We're going toward
mhm.
progress for comic book, digital. We're mixing them together. I like that as fuck. And what about you? What do you think about the progress we're living in? What do you expect to come? What would you like the most? Anything?
Yeah. So I agree with you. It did seem for a while, Jess, that there wasn't a lot of progress being made, on the app. And I was very excited when they hired Mitch back in like December of 2022, um, with his background there. And I knew that it was going to take some time. Anytime you're coming into an organization, um, and you're new, but you're the leader, right? You're going to have to restructure the teams and the culture, kind of
Hmm.
change the culture if it needs to be changed, right? Into like, okay, here's our system of how we're going to start getting things done and moving things forward, right? And so Mitch came in, and it took some time, right? And then but we did start to finally start to see things. The search bar, the MCP points start being calculated, even though, I mean, we're just barely getting to the point where I haven't seen people complaining that their MCP points are still incorrect. I hope that there aren't any more people there, but yeah, we're starting to see all these things now, like crafting. We've
Yeah.
seen
I,
them
I
do.
think the progress part I was thinking about is more about the whole Web3 domain. I was not trying to bash on VV. In contrary, I'm so amazed by the VV progress we got right now. I was thinking about the whole progress. The digital world is evolving right now, and I think this is amazing. I mean, VV, yeah, they lack some progress for years or two, but I don't think it wasn't a big issue at the moment. We see that everything was better to be going out right now than before. I don't feel we needed to be where we are last year. Right now, last year, uh, I think it's pretty right. We're right on the timing. I think I don't got anything to blame on VV for that. I mean, there was a lot of things that we could blame, but I don't think the timing was so bad.
Oh, look, don't get me wrong. Like, I I just was trying to point out the fact that like there wasn't progress, and now I felt like there wasn't a lot of progress, but we have started to really see progress, right?
Yeah,
Even just like the
totally.
last 6 months, and I love that we're also starting to see, right, like. Um, just some of these IPs really starting to go full fledged, right? We've gotten multiple Lamborghini drops. Like Lamborghini's like, okay, like we're all in, right? Let's do,
Yeah,
all of the different types of Lamborghinis, right? You've got Marvel now inviting David out to South by Southwest, like to make this major announcement. I mean, that's crazy. They're flying him out from New Zealand, right? They're not going to fly him out from New Zealand just to be like, hey, we have digital comics. It's like there's something
yeah,
big happening there, right? And
yeah,
so yeah, and I'm excited for bronze tickets, and I'm excited to be able to start using my MCP points on the bidding. So I mean, and that's just the VV stuff, but from a Web3 perspective, or where things are going, um, it's exciting to see, right? I know
mhm,
that you had Sanjay on, and
Yep.
Sanjay had done the Apple Vision Pro. He bought some, and I got to do a test run after I had talked to him too. He's like, you got to go do the demo. So I went and did the demo, Jess, and it was mind blowing.
Okay.
What's happening on the version 1 of the Apple Vision Pro, and what I saw there, it was just absolutely wild. And so I just, as that technology develops and increases and becomes better and better, and then we combine it with digital collecting, right? Like those
Mhm.
two worlds, like that's happening, right? You're going to be interacting
Oh yeah.
with your collectibles in AR or VR, and I know that we can do that a little bit in VR, but like the AR portion of it, where you're putting it in your house and like you're walking around, and instead of having it with your phone, right, you're seeing it in your field of vision. I mean, it's a completely different feeling, and so I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the way this technology is developing, and it's exciting times, and it'll be crazy to kind of see what they're able to come up with.
Uh, I know it's gonna be, but it's gonna be related. But I'm someone that do some little research on patent on a weekly
Uh,
basis, and
okay.
this morning just found a new patent from Sony that is doing some new glass, but with full camera. And I'm trying to find it fast if I can. I don't think I'm gonna be able,
Okay.
but
So
I'm gonna share it with you, or I'm gonna share it on the screen when I'm
yeah.
gonna do the thing. But it's gonna be like a pair of glass, a little bit like the Ray-Bans that we saw
Uh-huh.
out lately, and that's a pair of glass like that. But there's gonna be many camera. There's gonna be some sensor, some camera inside. It's not gonna be thick. There's gonna be some panel here that you're going to be able to remove, maybe some module. I don't know. I didn't have the time to look further, but it was like going here with speaker integrated, everything. It was like, oh, okay, they're they're coming in too. So yeah, and if I'm not wrong, we got a partnership with Sony and VV. So I'm not saying it's linked, but I think it could be interesting in the 5 to 10 years to come.
Look, I think that Vivi continues to impress with the partnerships and the IP that they have. It's pretty surprising. And when I tell people, I'm trying to tell people about Vivi for the first time, and I just go, I keep listing, right? I'm like, oh, Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, uh, Lamborghini. I mean, General Motors is supposedly coming. They did make that announcement. Um, but like even things like the Little Prince, right? Like, and we still
Mhm.
haven't seen that yet, but they made announcements about that. You got Toki Doki. I mean, and you just keep going, and like people are just like, what? Wait, what? All of that on one platform?
Yeah,
It's crazy. So,
and
yep,
this is
and
why
Sony is
it's
part of that.
this is why the more we're getting into 2024, I'm like, man, we really put our these egg that we I put in in this basket. I think I feel pretty safe for them. Like, yeah, I have to put eggs on other basket, other NFT project, maybe outside of crypto or Web3 too. But you're always scared, right? You feel like, huh, is it gonna be safe, or is it gonna crash and screw everything? And it feels, the more the times go, it feels like, oh damn, these air are gonna become dinosaur. you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
Vivi
yeah.
continues to. I'm not too worried about Vivi, right? Like there's a lot of other platforms that came out with a bang. They were labeled the Vivi killers, right? You had
Hmm.
Recur that was coming out there, and they were they also had Star Trek, and everyone was freaking out about that, and they were gonna have all of this game with the Star Trek stuff, and
Hmm.
um, look, I want competition for Vivi. I
Yeah.
really do, right? So Cryptoys is coming out. I feel like they are pretty different, right? HRO really different, and I want that. I want
Exarling.
those to succeed because it's great when HRO releases something and people are like, "Hey Vivi, like why don't you have this? HRO is doing this well, right? Like why aren't you doing this?" And it pushes them, it forces them to be flexible and to innovate, right, and to
Yep.
continue to grow. But from the standpoint of like, I think Vivi's got a long runway ahead of him, and so buying this
Yeah.
stuff, I do feel safe. I feel like Vivi's going to be around for quite some time. I don't feel like it's as much as speculative as it was in 2021, right? You're just like, I'm buying this, but like, I don't know about Vivi if they're going to be around, a year from now. But now, as I'm buying stuff, I'm like, I feel like they're going to be around for a very long time.
Yeah. Uh, I'm not sure how we say in English, but I think we say it's gonna become a household name.
Mm. Yeah, that's exactly how you say it. Yep.
That's exactly how we say. Yeah, I think it's gonna become that. It's gonna be like a little mogul from the in the future from Web3 first NFTs, and yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty amazing. Um, out of that, you got other project you're going in life, or you got? I know you got your comic book. You got graded just
Oh,
over your head. Yeah,
oh
you're
man,
gonna show us. Show
I
us.
got
Right, right.
I got to show you this.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's go.
Right. Oh man, I am still just like over the
Oh
moon.
yeah.
Here we
Oh, it's
go.
still shiny as hell.
Yep, and you got the signatures on there. I don't know if you can see. Sorry, I'm trying to show. So you got
Yeah, we can see
signatures
it.
there, and then on
Oh,
the back you got Vivi with David
don't
Yu.
drop it. Don't drop it.
Oh, I definitely will not. Right, but then you also have that Vivi CGC label, right?
Yeah,
And that's,
that's what I like.
man. So I mean, again, shout out to Comics and Crypto. I just, it was funny when I entered it. I was like, man, like, I'm definitely throwing my name in the hat, but like, there's no way. But whoever gets that, I just hope it goes to someone truly in the VV fan, right? Like that will appreciate like what this is, because this to me is VV history, and I do believe that VV is going to be around for a long time. And so to get that, the first VV label CGC comic, right, with the collaboration of Vivi and Marvel. Oh my gosh, I
I, I
just
I got the same feeling, but I'm not into comic book a lot. So don't sit down right away. Take the Iron Man with you. I'm the
okay.
I'm the Iron Man. I like Funko. Uh, You know, to me, this is the Funko VV Todd.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I've buy two, and I've got the gold, full gold, not the gold and black, but I've got two. I've been lucky. So yeah, when
Nice.
I got that on my channel, I think. I'm not sure, but if people want to go see, I'm gonna put the link in the description. But yeah, it's been a big opening for me. And after that, I put them back in the box. I put the box in a bag. I put the bag in a box, and a plastic box to be sure nothing happened to that. You know, I was super safe with them. And yeah, I'm the Iron Man guy. I'm pretty sure, and it's only the first one. What's gonna be the next one? Oh my god, I'm hoping for things like Spider Man or even Miles Morales in the Funko Pop. VV would be, oh my god, incredible. Yeah,
Yeah,
what do you think?
that would be epic. I would love. I mean, I'm a huge Wolverine fan, and so
Oh,
if they did Wolverine, I
mm,
mean, with like the retractable claws or something, or even
oh
if just the
yeah,
claws were out there, right? Like, I mean, yeah,
are you
Wolverine,
so right?
100%. And
Wolverine.
like, I mean, I've talked to Sleeping Comics, right? Like, I'm using my MCP points. Like, I will land Wolverine when they do the digital version of Wolverine FA, but then they did a Funko Pop too. Oh my gosh, I would freak out, man.
Yeah, me too. Oh my god, you make me think about it. Oh yeah, Wolverine will be crazy. That's that's the thing. I'm almost scared for them. I'm like, I hope they're not gonna drop one soon. My budget is not okay right now.
Gosh, seriously, yeah.
uh, oh my god. Um, yeah, I got a little blank. I was thinking about something before, but I forget it. You know?
Well, so I was gonna say, I'm like, when you're talking about my budget can't handle it, that is the problem. Vivi will drop so many things that I'm just
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, like I really want that, but I mean, I just like I can't get that right. I'm trying to, because I
Mhm.
am trying to right now. A lot of my focus is on crypto, as I think that the bull run's coming, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I gotta. But I mean, this comic that just dropped today, that Miles Morales, like freaking bought 10 of them. I was
Yeah.
planning on buying one, and then I was like, I
Yeah.
got a comment. I'm like, I gotta try again. I gotta try again. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they do a great
That's
job,
so
man.
addictive to a certain extent, to be honest. Look, oh
Yeah.
my god, I had to stop myself from looking sometimes, and I'm doing a video 5 days a week for the French VV fam,
Mm.
on my French channel, so I can't look away. So I'm doing my video. I'm giving my opinion to the VV fam, and I'm closing VV for like 3 to 4 hours just to not tempt myself because it's gonna be too hard. I'm gonna have problem to heat if I'm not careful. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Again, there's some times where I was just like, I should not have just done what I just did, buying all those things, but like they just, but that's what makes me, feel like Vivi's gonna be like such a long term play. Like
yeah,
I mean, they've done such a great job of really attracting people who like to collect things, and we're not even getting started, Jess. Like they don't really have like the leaderboard up there, right? We do have like the top 500 wallets and things, and we have ranks, right? But like and levels, but we haven't seen those really come into play
no,
yet. Just wait when that happens, because I know that they're going to play on the human psychology of, oh, like I need to get into this next level, and if I do, then XYZ happens. Or like, hey, my buddy and I were neck and neck, and like I gotta beat him, so like I'm gonna buy more, I'm gonna get more points, or I'm gonna do something. um yeah, and that
yeah,
still
I know.
hasn't dropped.
We
Yeah.
just talk about Funko. I'm pretty sure they're gonna make some kind of crafting Funko shit that we're gonna be like, oh my
Mm.
god. But I don't want to burn my digital version of my Iron Man, for example, to make this version. I want to keep it with my physical version. I'm gonna buy another one. So you're gonna go on the secondary market, buy another one to burn it to create the. Oh my
Mhm.
god. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do that. They're good. They're good. It's been over 3 years. I'm gonna say it. They're doing this to us, and
Mhm.
we still buy.
Yeah, yeah, I am. I enjoy it, and they're literally over the last 2 weeks, every single day. I've got a 2-year-old son. He's almost 3, and he asks me every day, Jess, to either see the Hulk smash or the Spider-Man. Every day, he's like, "Can I see it?" And I'm like, "Oh, we've already looked at this today." And he like, and that's like we haven't even really started into getting into the potential kid things, right?
Yeah.
So, there's
Can
man.
you imagine having him having a pair of glass, using your VV app, putting your Hulk smash in the living room, and be like, okay, put your glass in. He's gonna be on the living room all day for you. Good day. Going to work. He's gonna play with it. Gonna click on it to activate it, animate it. Yeah, it's gonna be here there for him when he want to because he got his glass. I
That would
think
be crazy. That would
this will be
be
the future.
that's crazy.
Uh,
Yeah, I'd
I
probably
was
like them interacting like that with their toys, where they're not making messes, and instead of just watching cartoons all day, they're like actually interacting. They're doing something active with it, right? Where maybe they could high five it, or makes it look like it's high fiving. Or
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things there that they could do to interact with it, which I definitely say would be better than the cartoons that they'll watch all the time.
I'm
So.
pretty sure there's already a lot of business or people that at the moment are creating like like a personal assistant, but for kids. Like you're gonna have the glass, and you're gonna see your little robot floating friend, and you're gonna try to play with fire, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, maybe you shouldn't play with that. It's dangerous." He's gonna explain, help you to build with Legos, maybe or thing like that. I think
Oh my
this
gosh.
this will
I
be the
hadn't
future with VV. Imagine you have a Spider-Man that is helping you with building a Lego train. I don't know.
that I just I never thought about that aspect before, right? Of like protecting the kids from things like, hey, warning, like that's hot or something.
Yeah,
Wow. That man,
that
that's
that
wild.
that's like having that's a babysitter, but
Yeah,
always there
a virtual
for
babysitter.
virtual babysitter. And because of AI, he's gonna learn to be liked by the kids. It's not gonna be oh, don't play with that, and
Mm,
because the kid's not gonna like him if he's presenting thing like that. So with
yeah,
AI, it's you're gonna feel safe to leave your kid almost safe. I know it's AI. Many people might get many opinion on that, but if everything going fine, I think it
yeah,
could be amazing. You know,
yeah,
uh, people are claiming that technology is gonna close us from the rest of the world. I think it's might be the opposite. In fact, it's gonna open opportunity. The kids at 5 years old is gonna have learned a lot more because of his little AI floating companion that he's gonna ever have learned with his own parents. So I think it could be complementary.
yeah. Man, I started trying to think about AI, like Jess, and I just my brain hurts, man, of all the possibilities of things
Yeah.
like that could happen, good and bad, and I'm just like, it's gonna happen one way or another. So I'm just trying to plan for it. But there are so many incredible potential use cases, like you were
Hmm.
saying there, and then also combining that in a digital way. And this could be like 10 to 15 years down the road. Like, I don't know how, maybe
Hmm.
it's 3, like, but
No.
down the road, just like you're saying, where could we see where your digital NFTs like are interacting with your kids in a way like with AI? Like that's I hadn't even thought about that aspect,
I
right?
think
I was thinking
you're not
about
gonna have the choice to put AI into it. It's maybe not gonna be super evolve to begin with, but I think you're not gonna have the choice if you want to make interaction with some
Mhm.
3D collectible. Even in 10 years, VV is gonna drop a Mighty Marvel interactive companion.
Hmm.
You know. But you can talk with it. It's gonna answer you. It's gonna be like the Chat GPT of today, which is not much, but still pretty awesome for a kid.
Yeah, that's when you're talking about those glasses, I did see something. Dr. Prophet shared something where it was like Ray-Ban glasses, and he looked at this plant, and he's like, "Hey Meta, what's this plant, or what am I
Yep.
looking at?" Right, and it told them what the plant was. Now it was wrong. It wasn't the exact species, but I can imagine a time. Think about if you're hiking, right, and you get lost, but there's still connectivity, and you're just like, you can say, like, are these plants edible, or
Mhm.
I mean, like I don't know, like, where am I, can you geolocate me or something like that, right? So that
Yeah.
you're not lost anymore. Or shoot, you see a bear and you're like, hey Meta, like, how do I react to a bear that's coming at me, right? And it can
Yeah.
maybe say like, hey, don't run, or I don't
I
know.
was thinking to many things like that too at the moment you were talking. I was like, oh, could be amazing to discover new plant species or to find some that we think are extinct. People are like, oh, I'm gonna pass a day to help scientific climbing this mountain because I like to climb mountain anyway. I'm gonna take my time taking some photo of some plants on the road, going just for the fun of it. It could help so much with ecology, environment. I'm not sure in English what is the word, but with nature.
Yeah, yeah, man. See, there's like, this is fun talking with you, Jess. I feel like you come at things, like, you bring up things that I just hadn't even thought about before. Finding new species of plants and animals. Um,
Insect.
yeah, yeah, insects. I mean, absolutely, that could be fascinating.
Hey,
And
my mind goes so far sometimes. I think it could be even amazing to prove or disprove people that are saying they saw like UFO, Bigfoot. But yeah,
mhm.
but you got your glass and you're be like, oh, meta record right now. Yeah,
Yeah,
prove it to the world. Are you crazy or you're not?
yeah,
Oh, now
yeah.
we know that you're nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. And I'm wondering too, it would be interesting if it gets to a point where you're walking along and maybe there's like, you're in a kind of like a volcanic region, like you're hiking in Iceland or something, and your glass is just looking, and then all of a sudden it looks and it's like, hey, we're seeing all the signs of a potential like eruption that's going to
Yeah,
happen or something,
yeah,
you know,
probably.
and then it notifies the scientific community, like, hey, like, man, I don't know,
Yeah,
be interesting.
I think could be really interesting. Ah, I like those kind of speculation. To be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
that's the kind of thing I put my mind on when I want to snooze a little bit.
Hmm.
I'm speculating. I'm going into thing that technology is gonna bring us. That's gonna be a help to solve a issue, bring progress to the world. I think that's speculation most of the time, but it could bring so many perspectives. As I said, like the companion was talking about. I mean, I want one. I even want a pet that follow me in the VVverse. I've sent many email to the VV team about that already. I've sent them. I'm gonna do one anyway. I'm gonna try to make one for the VVverse with the coding we're gonna be able to put in. I'm gonna be looking at it pretty seriously. I want a little frog that's following me. Yeah, that's ridiculous, but I mean, every game now got pets. You got
Yeah.
chibis, you got that's something that's gonna be needed. Imagine if you could talk with your little Bulbasaur in the VVverse,
You wait, your little what?
your Pikachu
Oh,
or your Bulbasaur.
oh man, oh man, that would be, yeah. I mean, and this the speculation is fun. So I'm gonna ask you speculation wise,
Yeah.
what IP do you think that VV is gonna announce this year?
Oh damn! I don't know. They got already so many big thing. Oh, I think they might be dropping some. I know. I'm pretty sure they're gonna drop some Assassin's Creed from Ubisoft because of what I saw at Auxerre. But I
Assassin's Creed. Okay.
don't think it's like something big news. It's not
Hmm.
like a big IP. That's Ubisoft. That's nice. That's good. But
Yeah.
that's not like Nintendo, and I don't think Nintendo is ready for this year's. Maybe not even 2025. So, and the reason why I think Nintendo's not ready is because they just that's last year they engaged their first person in Web3 specialist,
Oh,
so they're
interesting.
like a little late in
Hmm.
the game, I think. So I don't think they're gonna be ready. So what big IP they might be dropping? David was talking a lot about anime, so
Hmm.
maybe some Dragon Ball. Yeah, Dragon Ball could make sense. We saw David put some little some memes of Dragon Ball. I think it
Yeah.
could be
Right.
possible. I will prefer some Naruto, but still,
Okay.
pretty like Dragon Ball. What about you?
That's funny. That was going to be my guess, and kind
Oh,
of because of the, the tweets and things, and the Vivi and Akomi with the panda bears going psh and doing that,
yeah,
right? So, and I'm trying to think. I am hoping that this year they do drop General Motors with a Corvette, because that's something, you know. I had a classic, like a 77 Corvette that I had for several years, and I just have always enjoyed the classic body style. So I would love
hmm,
if VV dropped, because I know that, like, I think that they talked about some concept cars with GM, but I would love like a classic body style C1 or C3 body style Corvette. That would be big. I don't think that worldwide that would be as big of a news,
no,
but but for me, I do think that we're getting Wolverine, right? And I think
yeah,
that's probably at San Diego Comic Con, along the lines with Wolverine and Deadpool, right? And we'll probably get the comic book and the figurine, kind of like they did the
yeah,
comic book of Blade, and then they're dropping the Blade. But Dragon Ball Z, and then I'm trying to think if there's anything that could just completely come out of nowhere to be like, whoa, they have that. So, but Dragon
there,
Ball was the one that I was thinking of.
yeah, but I don't got one that might be other than Nintendo at the moment that would be oh my god, so amazing. But in the same time, I'm a little bit like yeah, but that's their thing. That's the David thing. He's like, oh, I'm gonna search something nobody's gonna think about. It's gonna be big, and I'm gonna put it out. Like, what's gonna be the next big thing? There's not much less coming. It's gonna depend of the domain, but yeah, I don't know. Nowadays anime are pretty popular. So if he
Mhm.
want to bring people from new generation, he's gonna have to go like One Piece, Naruto, even one Dead Note, or you know, even old comic maybe, anime. I mean, so I'm not sure yet, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna surprise us again.
Yeah, yeah. I can only imagine that there most of the IPs are banging at his door, trying to be like, "Hey, we want to get into Web3 too, right?" And
Hmm.
and I think that they love, and I know people are going to hate me for saying that, but they love this closed ecosystem right now, right, where they feel like their IP is
Hmm.
protected until they get more comfortable with Web3 and interoperability. And it's the place to go, right? You got places like OpenSea that just aren't doing so well right now, and so it does kind of seem like a safe haven for a lot of these IPs, kind of like a
Hmm.
sandbox area almost. It's like, well, we can
Yeah.
test all of this out right before we release our IP into the wild world of true Web3 interoperability and things. So I I just I wish I could be a fly on the wall, Jess, with
Mm.
a lot of these discussions, not only with the ones that he's having now, but like even back in the day, right, as they were first getting started and the conversations where they're getting turned down, and their sales pitches and how that evolved and how they finally started to get some yeses. Man, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, the history about that would be maybe interesting. I'm always too much thinking about the future because you talk me about history and I'm like, that would be an incredible movie in the future, like in 10 years, like history of the beginning of Vivi, the number one NFT platform over the world, and then
Yeah.
little David Yu with gray hair, and yeah, it started with Pokemon. Had 16 years old. Oh my god, you
Mhm.
know. So yeah, would be crazy. Everything about them is nice, but do you think there might be a great news with in related with the Disney announcement that we got last month, 2 weeks ago maybe, but
Oh, the Disney Fortnite
yeah,
announcement. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah. What do you think about that?
Um,
Bullish, not bullish.
I think it's bullish because regardless of whether or not Vivi is tied to that in any way, I
Hmm.
think anything that brings people more into digital understanding, right, and more acceptance of this and getting used to digital things, I think is actually a positive for Vivi, right? So they'll go in there and maybe they'll have different Disney skins and things. But then like people will be like, oh, you like that, but you can actually like own that Spider-Man character digitally, right? Like you can buy it and sell it and trade it. Where maybe these skins you can buy them, but you can't trade them, you can't sell them or anything. Um, but there is a chance, Jess. Like, and I know that people don't want to believe it. Like I've just seen so many people who are like, oh, there's just like no way. But there is a chance that there is a tie between Vivi and Disney and Fortnite. Like, and it could be like a sidebar ecosystem, right? But there's like a portal or something that gives you access, and it might be that it's pretty much closed ecosystem between Disney and Fortnite, with the exception that when they're in the Disney space, there's a portal that can take them into Disney's Vivi land, right, or whatever it is in the Vivi verse, their Vivi city or their Vivi IP world there as well, where people can get introduced that way. But overall, I think it's bullish for the space, right? As we're just talking about like progress and technology, like Disney getting into that and talking about kind of this like metaverse world, because that's kind of what Fortnite's become. Like
Yeah.
is a metaverse, and so yeah, I'm pretty bullish on that announcement, whether or not Vivi's tied in to it. But what about you?
To be honest, you make me think at the moment about the fact that nothing's force a metaverse to be only Web3.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some. business was sold some digital product that aren't NFTs, like Fortnite in the Disney metaverse. Because if you think about it, you know, uh, Epic Game could be creating a metaverse that's gonna be hosted anyway, maybe on Cavernous.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be big enough. It's gonna have server big enough to host and handle many hundred of thousands of people. And Disney is gonna be putting their new NFT platform on that, Vivi on that, probably Candy on that. They can open the doors to all those NFT marketplace. It's gonna be like, yeah, you're gonna have your shop on the metaverse, yeah, And anyway, we got our stuff on your market, so yeah, sell our stuff. It's gonna be like we're gonna become the Disney metaverse shop with VV and other NFT project. I think it could be something really interesting. I think it could be related, to be honest. Well, the other clue I got from a long time ago that went silent for over a year now. I'm pretty sure about that. Is that Epic Game and Fortnite are in partnership with Ready Player Me. That is in partnership with Cavernous, with VV. I mean, so our avatar are interoperable. I mean, are composable, if we can say.
Yeah,
They can go in every of these platforms. So why not? They're they're almost the same platform.
yeah. So, because one of the things, Jesse, you bring up a good point, right? If they're working with Cavernous and Ready Player Me, they could design it so that, hey, if you own this NFT, you get access to this skin, like the avatar skin
Mhm.
of Spider-Man, right? Or of Blade or something like that. And you can then go into Fortnite or you can go into the Disney worlds, right? And you can like be that avatar. And you can still have Fortnite selling these one skins that you can get here, but they're like, oh, but if you want these specific skins, you've got to go buy the NFT, right? And oh, if you get tired of it, you can then sell it, right? And so they can have skins that are just like infinite amounts. Anyone can buy one. They just got to pay $5 or $10 or whatever it is. But if you want the special skins, right? Well, you got to buy the NFT because then Disney is still getting money from that, right? And then maybe Disney has the revenue sharing agreement with Fortnite. Like it would get complex though, and which makes it a little bit more difficult to see it happening in the short term. But that doesn't mean that they're not in talks or discussing about that. So, I mean, I don't expect right off the bat um, for the Disney Fortnite announcement to be completely compatible with whatever is happening with VV and the VV burst. But is there a possibility that they are looking towards that and building towards that so that there is that interoperability or composability? It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I'm thrilled about that. I'm not. I don't know how to say it, but I want it to come as fast as possible. Uh, even if it don't happen, I know. I want to know what is gonna be this metaverse. Drop everything. Let's go. Drop us something, even if VV is not related to it. I just want to know because to me that feels like we said, like progress. But still, I feel like VV is related to it because maybe another little clue, and it's what's gonna say it's not gonna be. I'm not saying this badly, but David used like a little kid. We know that, and I've seen him at Auxerre. He got the physical reaction sometimes of not a little kid, but somebody that is pretty thrilled, amazed, is having fun, and you can see the patient. And when we got this news about Epic Game and Disney, he shared it like right away with few emoji, like happy emoji. So I was like, oh, you 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 can be happy even if you're not related to it. But I mean, would you share it like that? It's like direct competition from your partner with a big other competitor, kind of. So I don't feel like it's something you should be super happy to share about it. You can be happy, but I mean, I was thinking you would keep it to yourself at this point. But he's not. So yeah, I think
That's a good point, Jess. Honestly, if he was concerned about it, right? If he was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, like this is not good news for Vivi," I don't think that he would have shared it like that. I think that he definitely, yeah, probably wouldn't have said anything about it at all.
Yeah.
But I will say I've gotten in trouble with myself, like when I've seen David tweet out something and I speculate, and really I'm like, okay, well, no, that was just him being excited about about something that had nothing to do with Vivi there. But you make a great point though that like he's not out there tweeting Cryptoys things, right?
No, no, no.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
But he's out there tweeting that, so that is interesting. That's very good
He's
insight.
he's good friend with Todd McFarlane. Sometimes he share photo of Todd with him, old photos or something, but he never share McFarlane toy stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
I've
think you're onto something there, Jess. I think you're onto something there. Honestly, that's interesting.
yeah, my mind's going too far, too much time in the day. So yeah, that's the kind of issue I got, and it's going in speculation game like that so much.
Well, I like it because you have a lot of good insights. That I don't know. I feel like I talk with a lot of people, and you brought up several. There's several instances during this like 1 hour conversation where I was like, I never thought about that. I've never even heard about that. Like, it's great. It's good insight, man.
Thank you, thank you. Maybe before we end that, it's been like an hour. You're passionate about VV and NFT, Web3 crypto, but you got other passion before you get into Web3. What was that coming from? Like shoes, maybe Nikes. I see you got some Nike
Oh,
stuff. Do you like?
well, Boston, the Red Sox. Oh wait, let's see. Yeah. No, actually, my biggest fandom, I would say, outside of like Web3 things, is football or soccer, right? And I didn't get it. So growing up in the U.S., soccer wasn't like a big thing, but I went and lived in Spain for a couple of years,
Oh, okay.
and and I never seen such passion for almost like anything as the Spaniards have for football, right, or soccer, and that just it sucked me in. I grew to love it, right, and so then I started following Real Madrid and started watching soccer as much as possible. So huge soccer fan. I love that Messi is playing in the MLS right now. I just watched the game last night. He had so many good plays, and so yeah, super into that. I enjoy snowboarding. I see like DC there, like yeah, yeah. DC was a big snowboarding brand as well out here, and skateboarding brand. So love snowboarding, and then I also really like gymnastics. Actually, I used to
Oh,
compete in gymnastics way back in the day, and now I've got my daughter into gymnastics, and she's starting to learn how to do like back handsprings and things, and so yeah, those are some of my passions.
oh, that's interesting. That's something I like to hear. When you got like diversity of passion like that, you're like, I'm in skateboard and into oh fuck, I forgot the word. What, what's that?
Snowboarding or gymnastics?
Gymnastic, yeah.
Yeah,
But you're in gymnastic too. I'm like, oh, it makes sense to a certain extent because skateboarding, gymnastic, you got to stretch yourself when you're doing skateboarding, snowboarding too.
yes,
You
you
have to
do.
be stretch a little bit. But most people will not say that. First of all, gymnastics something might be a bit shy for a guy to do, but when I think about it, that's pretty amazing. Did you went far into the in gymnastics? Like
Um,
your back
not.
in full split in the air?
Oh yeah, yeah. I could definitely do a lot of tumbling tricks and things. Round out back
Oh,
handspring, back flips, back fulls. I was learning a double full, which is like a backflip with that double twist. Doing dismounts off the high bar with like a backflip and giants around the bar. Um,
holy
but
moly!
that's where I was at. But what happened, Jess, is I mean, you start getting to that level, and I was training Monday through Friday. Like I would get done with school at like 2:30, and then from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I was at the gym, right, Monday through
Oh,
Friday, and I'm a pretty social person. Like I love interacting with a lot of people, and I had a tight knit group of other gymnasts, but I didn't see them during the day at school. Right, they were all spread out and things, and so I just was like, I don't see myself going to the Olympics, and I feel like I've gotten to a point now. Like when I competed, I got as high as third in the state, right, in my age bracket, um, which was pretty good. But then
yeah,
I was just like,
that's
I'm
incredible.
yeah, I just was I wanted a life, and I didn't feel like I had a social life, and so that's when I left it. But it did leave me with a lot of skills just related to almost any other sport, right? Just your awareness, spatial awareness of where you are in the air. Helps when you're falling on a snowboard. Helps doing tricks, going off jumps on a snowboard. So yeah, I definitely don't regret it, but I just didn't want to stay in there, my whole life.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Oh, yeah, that's it. I don't want to hold you too long. That was an incredible moment. Anyway, I hope you're gonna come back.
I mean, yeah, Jess, like I'd love to, and actually, I'd love to have you on the channel,
Yeah.
on my channel, because I want to dig more into your background, and how you found Vivi, and then get some more of that speculation stuff. I need to pick your brain some more. There's a lot of fun things that you brought up, so love to have you on the channel as well.
All right, great. Now I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody. See you later, and that's it.
See everyone.
So, as I said, if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and most of it, and more importantly, go on the link on the description below on the comment and go follow DrOfStuff on Twitter and YouTube. So, yeah, that's it. Let's go.